Hello everyone and welcome to Zach's Garage. Today we've been invited to a rather cool garage and behind this door is someone I think you all know, so let's get knocking. So let's find out who's behind door number 1.
Hello, welcome to the Shmuseum. Welcome, Zach.
Thank you, Mr. Shmee, and look at this. Welcome, Zach's Garage. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Great to have you here. Great to have you to visit. This is something that's been in the works for a long time. It feels like a dream, very much pinch moment. Inspiration, of course, from visiting yourself and others. But yeah, all of my cars under one roof. It's surreal.
That's mad, and how long has this process taken to get to where you are now with your cars in here?
I tried starting to find somewhere, probably I would say 2.5 years ago now. And then this place we found 9 months ago almost. But to get everything done, to even make it possible to bring cars in, took a long time on its own with material shortages, all of that that's going on at the moment. But here we are, and it's just something I'm having to pinch myself every minute because being here with everything is insane, absolutely insane. But welcome. Let's have a look around. The LT, I've owned that car for about 5 years now. Done 17,000 miles, lots of trips all around, absolutely love it, completely bespoke paint. We called it MSO Orion Purple. Purple's always been one of my favourite colours. I still think it is one of the best McLaren cars that they've made. Next to that, the Ford GT, so iconic. 50 years after the 1966 victory, Ford went back to Le Mans, the World Endurance Championship GTE class. There were only a handful of the first UK batch cars. This is liquid red and a nice tribute nod to the Alan Mann Racing GT40s of the 60s with Alan Mann gold for the stripes, which I thought was a really nice effect. It looks brilliant on the car overall, and I love that thing. Took it to the US for a road trip coast to coast pretty much, which was, well, to be honest, just out of this world. McLaren Senna, when it comes to track performance, that is absolutely next level, wearing the name of Ayrton Senna himself. 800 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque, 800 kilos of downforce, and it only weighs 1,200 kilos. The numbers speak for themselves. When I've done laps at the Nürburgring in that, it's been mind-blowing. Then we get to one of the most special cars. I actually got to film and be there for the entirety of the build process of the GT8, one of 150 in total. I saw that body being painted, saw it being assembled, and actually I put the key in to start that engine in the car for the first time ever at the Aston Martin factory in Gaydon. Manual, old school, naturally aspirated, heavy, hard work, absolute monster, titanium exhaust, which I still don't know how they got homologated. It is so loud. Coming over to this side, the G-Wagon, G63. We did topaz skin on this actually to match it to the spec of the Senna. So cerulean blue with the satin navy for the bumpers. It's actually got an Akrapovic exhaust system as well, and again, sounds monstrous as a G-Wagon should. 4-litre twin-turbo V8.
And are we going to hear that a bit later?
Maybe. Maybe. Here it sounds ridiculous.
Wicked.
It is a complete monster. Heritage Focus RS. Cool fun fact about this. So they released this in 2018, linking back to the 1968 Escort Mark I, which was the spiritual predecessor of the Focus. Back in 1968, the winner of the Touring Car Championship was the Escort Mark I in the Alan Mann Racing red and gold. So for me, having this car is really quite a nice touch with the Ford GT. It's one of only 50 in Teef Orange, the original launch colour that were offered to the UK market because that's where most of the Mark III Focus RS sold, the most successful market. I've driven it, it's done 5,000 miles, but I'll certainly be keeping it. It's just a cool thing. I had the blue one and the red one before. GR Yaris, these are all the rage at the moment. I think everybody knows all about this thing. You've driven one. It was effectively made as a rally homologation car that unfortunately won't be taking part in the rally, but it is set up so much in a way that's just pure fun to drive, engaging, enjoyable, right amount of power. In a world where things are losing their marbles a little bit, this can still be driven and enjoyed.
And in a livery, which I think everyone recognises. If you don't recognise it, don't worry, because Tim's got the machine right over there.
Sega Rally, 1990s. Well, actually, of course, the Toyota Celica GR4 that raced at the time in the Castrol livery, and this is our tribute nod to it. Slightly butchered, I must confess, because of not being on a sporty coupe and being on a hot hatch shape instead. But on this, we've done a Miltech exhaust, we've given it the Giacuso body kit, the styling kit, which I think just makes it look a little bit nicer as well. It's a fun car. I haven't driven it enough miles yet to really gel with it.
And which one?
Don't make me choose because I'm going this way.
Okay, that'll be enough fun with me, choose.
M3 competition, new generation, this discussion.
I like it. You don't like it?
Most people don't like it.
I like it because
I'm
the
on
number
fence.
plate breaks it up. I mean, without the number plate, it would look absurd, but
It makes up for it by being in such a lovely colour.
it is true.
BMW M always name their cars after race circuits, in this case the Isle of Man TT.
And that was an optional extra, yeah? But in terms of, like, was it an expensive one, or was it not too bad for
No,
BMW?
the options weren't too... I didn't go too crazy with the options in this. I didn't do the carbon or the fancy bucket seats. It's a runabout at the end of the day. I've got bucket seats in. To be honest, I've got bucket seats in like all of these.
Apart from the G-Wagon.
Apart from the G-Wagon and this. And the Taycan. That's not here at the moment. Oh, and the Roadster. The Roadster, we'll get to that in a second. But the Roadster doesn't currently. GTR Pro, very misunderstood car. Same engine as the original AMG GTR, 585 horsepower, 4-litre V8 twin turbo, with a lot more downforce. All of the carbon fibre pieces, the extended splitter around the front, those cool bits that hold it up, louvers, gurney flap at the back, Aeroflex.
Talking of louvers, do you want to talk why? Why is this plastic?
I don't know.
Come on, you know about these cars. Why is that plastic, not carbon?
I literally don't know.
Damn.
I've never understood the spec of this car, but they were all like that, and you couldn't spec.
Looks good though, but like it would look better in carbon.
It's cool. We did the black PPF stripes as well. Normally they're satin grey, and I think they're
It
really
looks
work.
really cool. I mean, the spec of this is awesome, and it actually really suits it. White, you've got to be a bit careful with white, but it does. Yeah.
No, but it's this lovely pearlescent metallic. It looks lovely. It's a gorgeous thing. When driving it on track, and I've had a few track outings, including a full day at the Nürburgring, absolutely hammering it around for the whole day, the car made sense to me. Before that, I was a bit confused myself, which is why that arrived. But they are such different driving experiences. Roadster, actually collected at the end of last year, found myself stuck out of the UK with travel restrictions for months and months and months. Came back and said, right, we need to drive this. Did a big trip. It's done 4,000 miles, I think, very, very quickly. And it reminded me how much of a better road car that is than the Pro. Long term, Pro's going to depart, Roadster's going to stay and be joined by a new stablemate. But one more here, which I think just looks insane, if I can say so myself.
I agree. I totally agree. It's weird actually because in this light, I thought the bonnet was carbon. Like it looked quite dark, and then you look around it, and obviously that next to the centre, next to the LT. I mean, seeing as it's your, well, I suppose you've got two Porsches. Is the Taycan the same colour? It's not, is it?
The Taycan is dark green. The Taycan.
So why haven't you got that next to that?
We haven't done that yet. So this is actually wrapped. This is Inazatec Midnight Purple.
Right.
We have their Midnight Green on the Taycan. But the contrast of the purple with the factory gold wheels, I absolutely loved. And then I got some gold wing risers from RSNV as well at the back.
You have to love gold, don't you? I mean, it's gold is the way forward.
Look around the garage and you'll notice it's all about contrasting colours. The LT, purple with the silver pinstripes. GT, red with the gold. Senna, the carbon is all blue against the light blue. GT8, blue and orange. G63, dual tone blue. Heritage is a slight exception because that's how it came. I added the satin black roof, so maybe you could say I did that. Obviously the Yaris has the red and green. M3 daily, I haven't done anything with that. Pro has the red stripes, but even here on the Roadster that's red, I still gave it yellow 12 o'clock, yellow seat belts and yellow calipers, just to give it some, some flashes of colour. So I like this dual tone colour scheme thing. Should we talk about that?
Should we talk about it? Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it.
That's about to arrive. That might not have arrived yet.
I don't think it has arrived. I don't know what it is, and I think we'll...
You don't know what it is? That massive picnic table.
I don't know what that picnic table is. I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but I mean, if you're going to show us a little... Let's have a little cheeky little look. That's looking pretty mean, that, isn't it? Jeez,
so
look at that. Satin black.
AMG GT Black Series. A car I've been waiting for a long time. And I can't believe it's actually sat there myself.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
You're going to put some miles on it?
This car's going to do so many miles. Obviously, at the moment, my SLS Black Series isn't here. The SLS is off just having a couple of bits and pieces done. It should be done. It should be back here in days, I hope. But yeah, this is about to go live, I think.
Well, we won't talk about that. We still don't know what that is. We've seen the front end, but we'll it is what it is.
It's hiding. But yeah, you've come today with the Pista.
Have indeed.
I don't have a Ferrari in my collection.
Not yet. Yet.
SF90 inbound.
Is it Spider or is it Coupe?
I'm going Coupe actually, Stradale, SF90 Stradale.
So you're not going Fiorano pack?
Nope, road spec. Elegant
Good. Yeah,
road spec.
yeah, I agree with that.
Because if I'm going to go to a racetrack, they're all track cuts, mostly.
It's almost like you've got a choice.
Senna, yes, spoiled. Appreciate that fully. So for me, I actually really like the other take on the SF90, which is future tech, hybrid, comfortable, crazy fast road car, soft suspension, nice seats. So actually no bucket seats in the SF90 for me.
But will you, here we go, if you're going classy spec, are you going to do tailor-made, like that super tan leather interior, like the glossy leather? Because I feel like that would look pretty cool.
Not on that car.
Not on that car.
I can't say too much. I've been
No, of course.
I haven't finished the spec yet. With Ferrari, it's actually a fascinating experience because you have so many different stages.
Yeah.
You don't just walk into the dealer, boom,
Absolutely,
done.
yeah.
It's not like...
Unless you're a normal client, and then that is exactly what happens.
Well, it depends what you want. If you want to go through multiple stages when you're speccing £500,000 worth of SF90, they will look after you and allow you to go through that process, and it is really quite fun to do. So I'm constantly making small changes and working out how we're going to end up.
And so, talking money, I know we don't like to talk money in the car world. Does it never seem a little bit funny to you, the fact that pretty much any one of those cars could have built you this building? If you think about it that way.
Yeah, but not the plot of land.
Not the, yeah, very
put
true.
up the
That's
building.
that is very true.
Land this close to London, the land this building is on is more than all of these.
Yeah, Harrods is just out there.
We're not that close to central London. But even still, this is one of the crazy things. If you can get a cheap plot of land, middle of nowhere, wherever you might be, you can put this up for a couple of £100,000. But to be able to do this within reasonable distance of central London, it makes getting cars like the Senna and the GT seem fairly affordable. This has been a big project.
I think that's the first time it's ever been said a Senna and a Ford GT affordable.
The relative. This for me.
It is all relative,
This
yes.
for me is the biggest undertaking I have ever made. It makes those not seem so scary in terms of their financial payments and whatnot.
It's very true. And let's go talk about your partners and B, some of the goodies you've got. Let's head over there.
So it is of course a huge thanks from me to the partners who have made this possible. eBay, we're doing some pretty fun stuff with eBay. In fact, my own business history goes back with eBay as well, and how I started getting involved in trading stuff. CTEC as well, who are responsible for the chargers, both the trickle chargers, the smart chargers that the cars live on, but also the installation of an EV charger, which changes my Taycan usability life experience immensely. Excite.
And SF90.
Yeah,
that SF90 will be.
Well, I got a double charger, so we're good. We can have
That's good.
Taycan and
Yeah.
SF90
That
charger.
also means that you can have the SF90 next to the Sega Rally.
Or we can move
Well,
that.
you could move it, but I feel like it would look cool.
The seats are currently open because unfortunately it's not working properly.
Oh.
But it's a double charger. This is a 3-phase 22 kilowatt charger,
Okay,
so the SF90 will actually charge its relatively small battery in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's very
I don't
good.
know.
Yeah, so you can get down to the shops on pure electric just by using the CTEC charger.
Yes, we can.
That's
and
very
back
good.
25 kilometres or 16 miles of range.
Yeah, that's
Then
impressive.
comes all of this stuff.
This is pretty cool. I mean,
Yes.
we won't go through all of it, but to give you guys an example, like, that's Tim's old R8,
Yeah,
and
so
like...
well, it's a few different piles. All the Lego, obviously, got to have all of the Lego.
Yep.
Boxes crushing themselves, that's not good. We'll worry about that later. Anyway, all of the Lego. These are all model cars, and you probably remember a model car that you kindly gave me once.
I did, I gave you a Mini.
Now, that's actually at my home because at the time I couldn't find one. It hadn't been released. But then this came along.
Hey, look at that!
And this is my exact spec. All of these
And
are
the
my
number
exact
plate.
spec.
That's so cool.
Painted exactly how I had it. Some of them even.
So I collect model cars, as you know. This makes your collection of model cars makes me very jealous.
This is one of my favourite ones. They never made a 1-18 Vantage Roadster.
So you had it made for you?
So that is a Vantage Coupe where the model maker cut the roof off, 3D printed the rear deck, and made the parts, and then of course built it to spec with the plate and everything.
That's so cool. And obviously you've got a bit of a love for that car anyway. So
That
that's
was the
even
first
cooler.
Shmee-mobile.
That was the
The
first.
first ever Shmee-mobile, the Vantage Roadster.
That's
So
very
every
cool.
single one of these is literally spec match to the exact car.
Apart from these are not all of your cars. Like, you haven't had one of each of these cars, have you? Or have you?
Yeah, these are all the cars I've had.
Really? There you go. If you guys were wondering, that's all of Tim's cars he's ever owned. That's mad.
Sometimes it's easy because they make a GT500 that's just
Yeah,
the right colour
sure.
straight out of the
Yeah,
box.
yeah.
But other times they're full like recreations. That's my Ferrari FF, one of my favourite specs. Blue Le Mans with a crema interior. I mean, I can go through these bits and pieces. Sometimes like MR models with Ferrari, You can have it
Oh, yeah, of
factory
course.
made.
Yeah,
So that's factory made to match my
Look at
Lasso
that.
specification.
That's
And
incredible.
TDF blue. The others are made bespokely.
And talking
afterwards.
of models, can we have a look at the bad boy?
The big one.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
This box. Takes a moment to open it. This is.
I mean, this is like every kid's dream in terms of a toy
Yeah,
car.
it's still my dream. This is toy cars on steroids. This
Look
is
at this, guys.
amalgam.
Like, Tim didn't expect me to ask for this, I know,
No.
but
1 to
look
8 scale
at that.
amalgam center.
I mean, that's almost like clean, like that's almost better than the actual car.
It
In the
probably
that's
is.
crazy.
But even the level of details on that. I'm actually going to just pop this on the floor for a second. The level of detail here. I've got some tape on it, but maybe I can just open this quickly. You can open up the doors. Okay. Come around to this side. Inside, it's got the 12 o'clock stripe on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
It's got the painted blue door gas struts. You can see on the opposite side that match with the real car. It's exactly perfect. Even on the number plate, it has the quote that I have written on the real car's
And
number plate.
the real car is just there. It's unbelievable. I mean, this is super cool. I mean, you and I have always talked models, you
I
know,
love these things.
but this is next level.
You can spend forever just staring at it.
And you, of course, built this as well. You were there when they were putting, they had all the pieces
I
out.
went down to visit Amalgam, they're over in Bristol, and I got to see parts of the process behind this. I'm going to pack that up carefully later on.
Don't worry.
Which was really quite fun, and then all the fun bits and pieces that come with new cars, like here, and more Senna things, but inside this, for example.
This is, now guys, I have never seen this before. This is wicked.
Every Senna customer with their car, he says, I can't open
I
it,
can't open it. It's nothing.
got
Look at that, guys.
half
Isn't that
scale
incredible?
Senna helmet.
I mean, that is just unbelievable. We need stuff like this in our museum. You're starting to outdo us on memorabilia. It's not fair.
Nobody's going to outdo you guys. on
That's
memorabilia.
unbelievable.
But I've got a lot of fun bits that I've accumulated now with the different cars and going to so many events and things over the years. That obviously down the line, when we've got the office and storage spaces built here and we can display it all, it's going to really, really stand out.
So, Tim has offered to take me out in one of his cars, and is none other than the Ford GT. You ready to rock and roll?
Always.
Let's do it.
Any opportunity to take this car out is a good one.
Well, first of all, we've got to get the cold start audio clip, so let's head to that. So now, you've had your fair share of experiences with cars. You know, you've driven most stuff that car companies have made. Obviously, we've chosen this car to go out in because it's one of your special ones. Out of all the cars that you drive, what makes you go to things like a Senna or a GT? Is it the heritage? Is it the drive? What makes it?
This is particularly special because of the heritage, because of its story, because
Yeah.
it's a car that was introduced for a reason, when most things these days...
That's epic.
Most things I was going to say are often just released to sell cars and make money, right?
Yeah,
For the company.
yeah, sure.
In this case, it was Ford saying, actually, we know we're going to lose a lot of money on this project, but we want to go back to Le Mans. We want to celebrate 50 years since that incredible period in the 60s when they won it 4 times in a row. And we want to make a car that links to that.
Yeah,
but with modern technology, with twin turbo V6, for example, small, lightweight, carbon fiber, new materials, new technology, but also as a flagship for the brand. And I found that story so cool and connected that for me it was kind of, this car had to happen. And it's such an incredible community as well that actually comes around the Ford GT, because it wasn't easy to get one. You didn't
Absolutely,
just
yeah,
walk
I
into a
remember.
dealership and order one.
Yeah.
You had to apply, you had to make a video, you had to hope you were one of the lucky chosen few who would get permission to be allowed to buy one effectively. And the result of that is that everywhere you go, you meet this incredible community around it.
Yeah,
it's
with Ford
really
GT
friendly.
owners, I can imagine, yeah.
It's really, really friendly. I've never seen any other car or brand like it. And that makes it a really fun car to own as well. Not to
Yeah.
mention the fact that you pull up somewhere and somebody says, what's that? It's red, it must be a Ferrari. And you
Well,
say,
no, it's
no,
a
look,
Ford.
look again,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
Ford.
a
And there's
Ford.
no way that's a Ford. Ford don't make a car like that. So it's just very fun. I think generally I don't take this car or the Senna out all that often because you have to have your brain on it. You know, you want
always
to
have
be
to
fully
be
alert.
thinking.
Yeah, you need to be in the mindset to fully enjoy it.
And sometimes it's nice just to hop in a Yaris and go for a black.
Or the Cayman GT4 down these kind of roads, fairly
I can
narrow. 'Cause, you know,
imagine.
we're in a left-hand drive car, which is huge.
Yeah.
Down these kind of lanes, the Cayman GT4 is absolutely perfectly at home.
Yeah.
It's one of the best cars you could possibly drive in this environment. But in here, we're so low to the ground, it's very cozy.
But it is very good. Luckily, I know you, because otherwise I'd feel a bit uncomfortable. But I mean, it is. But at the same time, the seats are so comfy. Like genuinely,
Yes.
I had no clue how. I mean, you had these redone though, didn't you? You had like the
Still
gold
factory
stitching.
seat, yeah.
but it's
So it
still.
had a few bespoke details added, but it's still the factory seat. So that's one of the big surprises about this car. It's still an American supercar. It's still designed to be pleasant to drive on the road with these fairly padded seats. It's not brutal like the Senna.
Yeah.
So they are very different cars that, yes, they serve a very similar purpose. They're both track cars. The Senna is much, much faster than this though. Different league of performance.
And when they said that, obviously, when the GT was announced, when they said it was going to be V6, did that not annoy you? The fact that it wasn't a V8, or were you more intrigued?
It's not a problem for me. I don't have an issue with that because I suppose we're in an era and generation with a lot of twin turbo V8s. Got used to that kind of engine and listened to it.
Yeah, that is a hell of a noise. Isn't
It's
it?
not like that's not a good engine sound.
No, it is very true. And I suppose that's the only thing that puts people off V6s is the fact that sometimes they don't sound great. But if it sounds great, then you've got a better. I mean, effectively, you've got a better
This
engine
is
than a V8. Yeah,
the
you're
problem,
clear.
the
Yeah,
left-hand
you're
drive
clear.
blind spot.
But oh man.
We're back from the drive, and Zach, I think it's time to take a listen to a couple of the cars.
Absolutely, let's do it. What are we going for?
I've grabbed a few keys.
Okay.
First up, G63, because it just sounds silly, to be honest with you.
And I mean, we did talk about it, and I'm really looking forward to hearing this thing. I mean, this is exciting.
A Kravitz exhaust, tailpipes are down here, so they're basically right next to you. It's a bit dirty, apologies for
Look
that.
at that.
It's a G-Wagon, it's supposed to be dirty, isn't it?
This is very true.
Sounds awesome when you open it.
AK-47
Yeah,
locks.
these doors. Proper feel.
That is a proper, yeah, that's mega.
Step up and in, and then let's go through the full motions. Pop it up into noisy mode. Pull the paddle. Ready to take a listen?
Let's do it.
That's only about 3,000 RPM, which is cold. I mean,
Listen to that.
3,000 RPM.
That's mental. I mean, that's like better than SVR. Oh my god.
I'm going to stop being a child, but it does
No,
sound good.
please don't. A right question for you. Can I borrow this one day?
Yeah, sure.
Wicked, because this is what I want to take this home, show it to some people, because this is, you really undersold that. You
I
really
undersold it by
undersold
telling
it.
you it sounded monstrous.
Yeah, that's better than monstrous. That's proper.
We didn't talk about that. Electric go-kart in the same colours.
This is fun.
It's good for bombing around the garage.
This is.
Come listen to the Yaris.
Yeah, come on then. Let's start it up.
The Yaris Miltech exhaust. Again, just the.
What YouTube channel does this? There we go.
Yeah, it fits.
Fits.
Again, this is This is surprisingly loud for what you'd expect, given it's still, it's just basically the end of the system.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's only disappointing because you've
10 times better than a normal Yaris.
Normal Yaris is like this vacuum cleaner kind of air.
That's so cool. That's what it needed to sound like. Like, that's what it needed to sound like from factory. That's mega. That's Focus RS mega.
It missed that a little bit. But, daddy of them all.
Go on.
The Aston.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's go do that.
It's the cold start on this car. It's just, you don't
That's scary. I don't have earplugs.
You don't need to do anything. You just turn it on. Do you like the stash of car parts?
I do. There's a little bit of B-roll that you guys will see in a sec. This is from the moment that we don't speak about.
The moment we don't speak about, the moment of the beginning of a very stressful period, having to deal with it all. But it's quite fun to have all of those.
But you know, you've now got something that's pretty like no. I can guarantee you, no one has as a wall piece.
Unique garage memorabilia.
So.
Yeah. So this.
I've got the fun job of having to stand behind this while you start it.
That's all right.
He says.
It just snaps a little bit.
It just snaps a little.
Yeah, just a little.
On my ears or the car?
Both. You ready?
Go on. Says it all.
Factory exhaust.
How they got away with it? I don't know how they did it.
Factory titanium exhaust.
Never sell this.
Before all of the neighbours hate me.
That is. Oh, I love these. I'm so tempted to get one. I mean, just for the noise. Like, forget about the Aston. I know it's special and whatever, but that noise.
This car's timeless. It's the end of an era of kind of the era of loud naturally aspirated engines, manual driving enthusiast cars. The performance numbers aren't silly. It's only 446 horsepower. It's not like
only
relative. Though. It's sitting next to a car with 800 and another one with 656. You know, these numbers are growing quickly. The SF90 I've got on order has 1,000. It's got more than double this.
Shall we address the fact that it has 1,000 brake horsepower? Because it's like 998 or something,
it's
isn't it?
1,000 metric horsepower or 988 imperial brake horsepower.
Okay, so to English people and normal?
800 PS or CV or HP, 789 bhp. So
right.
People don't realise this. Brake horsepower and horsepower aren't the same thing.
Right, okay.
So,
I didn't know that, actually.
656 horsepower, 647 brake. 675 horsepower, 666 brake.
Interesting.
Makes sense. The name is 675 LT.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. 675.
Yeah.
But it's 666 brake.
Okay, fine.
The numbers go slightly out.
So what explains the 488 then?
So, as in, why is it called 488?
Yeah. Do you know that?
I do know that.
Tell me.
You're about to be.
I don't know.
It's a 3.9 litre V8.
Yes.
The cubic capacity per cylinder is 487.5, which they round up to 488.
There you go. I did not know that. There we go.
Walking encyclopedia at your service.
That is unbelievable.
He says, running to a calculator. Yeah, if you
that makes sense.
Divide 4 litres by 8 and you get 500.
Oh, but you're the maths guy, I'm not.
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. Tim, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the invite coming over. When you get more cars, and I'll bring something, and we'll have another party here or something like that for sure, 100%. But
well, this will all be very different in maybe 3 months, but certainly 6 months. It will be a very, very different setup. Okay. So you have to come back with
something. Peel. All right, we'll do that. Peel P50 in here, and we'll race the Peel versus your little go-kart.
That could be quite funny.
That could be quite funny. Little track. Yeah, let's do it. But thank you so much, man, for the invite. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
I'll catch you soon. All right.
Definitely. You leaving the piece with me?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, but you can have it. It's fine. It's no problem. You might as well keep it. You know, just fits in better here than it does with ours. Bunch of old stuff we've got.
Well, thank you for being one of the first visitors to the Shmuseum.
Oh, I really appreciate the invite. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.